Hello, Algebra 2. This video is covering Learning Target 1E. I can use the order of operations, also known as PEMDAS, or please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, to simplify and evaluate. So if you recall, PEMDAS is just telling us the order we should do operations in so that we actually get the correct answers. There is a right and a wrong way. So P stands for parentheses, or really any grouping symbol, okay? Grouping can come from parentheses, it can come from brackets, it can come from absolute value, it can come from just separation of a fraction. The top is grouped and the bottom is grouped, the numerator and denominator. So we're going to start by doing what's in the parentheses. And you always start with the innermost parentheses. It's not saying that you have to do something to the parentheses. It's saying you want to do what's inside of the parentheses, okay? So I'm going to start in my innermost set of parentheses, which is in here. All right, so we're going to treat this almost like it's its own problem. So we're going to do 15 divided by 3 plus 2 squared, and I'm going to forget about the rest of the problem, okay? Now that I've gotten this, that I've isolated, okay, this is what I have to work at, the next thing I want to do is go through and look for any exponents. That's what the E is representing. Let me just get rid of this real quick. E represents exponents. Well, I see 2 squared here, so that's what I'm going to do next. So 2 squared is 2 times 2, which is 4. So we have 15 divided by 3 plus 4. All right, now PEMDAS, then we get to multiplication and division. Those we're going to do from left to right, so it doesn't matter which one of those comes first, multiplication or division. We're going to do it from left to right. I actually sometimes like to write PEMDAS as this so that we know multiplication and division and addition and subtraction. Those are technically the same step. They just happen in order from left to right. We don't have to do multiplication before division. So when I get to this line 3, we're looking for multiplication or division, and we see 15 divided by 3. So I'm doing that next, which would be 5 plus 4. And then the only thing left to simplify there would be 5 plus 4, which is 9. So that little piece is what belongs inside that set of parentheses. We simplified all of that. So the remaining problem is 4 squared plus 9, right? I don't technically need these parentheses anymore because I've done all of the stuff inside of them. So now I just use order of operations to simplify what's left over for me. Again, we'll follow the rules, so exponents next. So 4 squared would be 16, and then add and subtract left to right is the last piece. Well, 16 plus 9 is going to give me 25. So the whole answer comes out to be 25. Okay. Another alternative is where you may have to substitute first and then evaluate. So substitution is when you're replacing a variable with its equivalent or what it's equal to. So replacing y with 5, replacing x with 2. That becomes your first step when you're evaluating. So the first thing I'm going to do for this expression is to substitute everywhere I see an x. I'm going to replace it with 2. And everywhere I see y, I'm replacing it with 5. Okay. Now we want to simplify using PEMDAS. So parentheses first, and remember parentheses also just means any grouping symbols. Well, by creating this fraction here, the numerator is one group and the denominator is another group. So first let's simplify what's in the numerator. Following our order of operations, again, like it's its own problem. So In the numerator, we have 2 times 2 plus 3. Well, there's nothing to do inside of the parentheses. It's already simplified. There are no exponents, so next I'm going to multiply or divide. Well, 2 times 2 would give me 4. Then I can add and subtract to give me 7. So the numerator of this is equal to 7. Now I'm going to take and do the same thing with the denominator, where we have 4 plus 2 times 5. Again, nothing to do inside parentheses, no exponents. So multiply or divide left to right. Well, 2 times 5 is the only multiplication. That gives me 10. Then we can add and subtract. 4 plus 10 is 14. So the denominator of this fraction is 14. Now I can tackle the fraction itself. I can actually deal with the division that's left over. 7 doesn't go into 7 and 14. 7 goes into 14, but it's not going to give us a whole number, so we could reduce it by dividing the numerator by 7 and the denominator by 7. So we end up with 1/2 as our simplified